My grandmother developed severe dementia at 78, but strangely, she never lost these three particular memories until the day she died. What makes certain memories completely immune to brain deterioration while others vanish first? Your memory isn't what it used to be. You walk into a room and forget why you came. Names slip away mid-conversation. Sound familiar? Well, here's the thing. Most people don't tell you, after 75, your brain shifts into a completely different gear. The numbers don't lie. Memory fade accelerates dramatically in your late 70s and beyond. It's not just normal aging anymore. We're talking about something much more serious. Dementia risk jumps like a rocket after age 75, affecting most people in ways that would surprise you. But here's what's fascinating, and what doctors are just starting to understand. Only about 1 in 10 people over 75 sail through with zero memory problems. That means 9 out of 10 folks your age are dealing with some form of memory challenge. You're not alone in this fight. But why does 75 seem to be the magic number? Your brain has been working overtime for decades, and certain systems start wearing down. Think of it like an old car that's been running perfectly for years, then suddenly needs more attention. The weird part is that your brain doesn't forget everything equally. Memory isn't just one big filing cabinet that empties out randomly. Scientists have discovered your brain uses completely different sections for storing people, places, and facts. Some areas hold up better than others as you age. That's why you might remember your childhood phone number, but forget where you put your glasses 5 minutes ago. Then there's the speed factor. Memory problems that used to creep along slowly now move faster. What might have taken years to develop in your 60s can happen in months after 75. Your brain's backup systems, the ones that helped you compensate for minor memory slips, start getting overwhelmed. Let's not forget the scariest part. Dementia isn't just about forgetting where you left your keys, it's about losing pieces of yourself. The person who raised a family, built a career, and accumulated decades of wisdom suddenly can't remember their grandchild's name. That's terrifying for anyone. But hold on. Before you start panicking, there's actually some incredible news buried in all this doom and gloom. Recent research shows that certain types of memories act like early warning systems for your brain. When these specific memories stay strong, they signal that your mind is still firing on all cylinders. They're like canaries in the coal mine, except in a good way. Your brain has remarkable ways of protecting what matters most. Some memories are so deeply wired that they resist damage longer than others. The trick is knowing which ones to pay attention to. These memory types don't just randomly survive, they're connected to brain pathways that keep your entire thinking system healthy. And the best part? Recognizing these protective memories early gives you power. Real power to fight back against cognitive decline. There are 3 specific things your brain remembers that serve as your best defense against dementia. The first one might surprise you. It's all about the faces you see every day. Your brain has a special department that only handles faces. It's like having a dedicated bouncer at a nightclub who remembers every person who's ever walked through the door. This face recognition system sits in a tiny area behind your right ear, and it's incredibly good at its job. Well, until it isn't. Here's what makes this fascinating. Most people with dementia lose names before they forget anything else. You might remember that your neighbor loves gardening and has 3 cats, but their name? Gone, vanished. Like trying to grab smoke with your bare hands. But here's the twist nobody talks about. People who keep their face name memory sharp have significantly lower dementia risk. Scientists tracked thousands of older adults for over a decade and found something remarkable. Those who could still match names to faces consistently showed 40% less cognitive decline than those who struggled with this basic task. Why does this matter so much? Think about it. Every time you see someone and instantly recall their name, your brain performs an incredibly complex dance. It pulls up their face from visual memory, cross-references it with stored personal data, then delivers the correct name to your tongue. That's like having 3 different computer systems talk to each other in milliseconds. The really interesting part? This isn't just about having a good memory for party tricks. Remembering names keeps your social connections alive. When you greet Mrs. Johnson by name instead of just nodding politely, you're maintaining a human bond. You're staying plugged into your community instead of slowly drifting away. And the numbers don't lie. People with strong social connections have up to 25% lower dementia risk. Makes sense, right? Your brain stays active when you're genuinely engaged with other people. It's working harder, staying sharper, building up what researchers call cognitive reserve. But here's where it gets tricky. Many people assume forgetting names is just normal aging. "Oh, I'm just getting old," they say with a laugh. Sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. The key difference lies in the pattern. Normal aging might make you pause for a few seconds before remembering someone's name. You know it, and then it comes to you. Dementia-related memory loss is different. The name isn't just temporarily misplaced. It's like it was never filed away properly in the first place. Then there's another layer to consider. Some folks have always been terrible with names, even in their 20s. For them, struggling with names at 75 might not mean much. But if you were always the person who remembered everyone's birthday, their spouse's name, and their kids' ages, then suddenly you can't recall your mailman's name after 10 years, that's worth paying attention to. The good news is your face name memory system responds well to practice. Use it or lose it isn't just a catchy phrase, it's neuroscience. Now, recognizing faces and names is just one piece of the puzzle. There's another type of memory that might be even more telling about your brain's future. What you had for breakfast this morning might sound like a trivial detail. But here's something that'll surprise you. Remembering what you ate 3 hours ago is actually one of the strongest signs your brain is still firing on all cylinders after 75. Recent memory gets attacked first when dementia starts creeping in. Think about it this way. Your brain is like a filing cabinet, and the newest files always sit on top. When trouble starts, those top files get scattered first. The childhood memories, they're buried deep in the bottom drawer, safe and sound for now. This is why your 80-year-old neighbor can tell you every detail about her wedding day in 1963, but can't remember if she took her morning pills. Makes sense, right? Her long-term memory vault is still locked tight, but the recent stuff, that's where the cracks show up first. Let's talk about what doctors call working memory. It's basically your brain's notepad for holding on to new information just long enough to use it. When you meet someone new and try to remember their name for the next 5 minutes, that's working memory in action. When you follow a recipe and keep track of which ingredients you've already added, same thing. Well, here's the thing most people don't realize. Working memory is incredibly demanding on your brain. It requires multiple brain regions to coordinate like a well-rehearsed orchestra. The moment one section starts playing out of tune, the whole performance suffers. Research shows that people who can accurately recall recent events, what they watched on TV yesterday, who called them this week, or what the weather was like 3 days ago, have significantly lower rates of cognitive decline. Their brains are still conducting that orchestra with precision. But here's where it gets really interesting. The ability to remember recent events isn't just about having a good memory. It's actually a sign that your brain's communication highways are still running smoothly. Every time you form a new memory, your neurons have to create fresh connections. It's like your brain is constantly building new roads. Then there's the daily tracking habit that seems almost magical. People who naturally keep mental notes of their daily activities, not writing them down, just staying mentally engaged with their routine, tend to maintain sharper thinking longer. They're giving their working memory a workout without even realizing it. And the weird part is, this isn't about remembering every tiny detail. You don't need to recall what color shirt the mailman wore or count every step you took. It's about maintaining that natural awareness of your daily life flow. The contrast becomes stark when you compare this to early dementia signs. People start losing track of conversations they had yesterday while still remembering their high school graduation speech word for word. Recent events fade like morning mist, but distant memories remain crystal clear. This recent memory strength connects directly to something even more fundamental, but there's another type of memory that might be even more crucial for staying independent. Your brain runs like a well-oiled machine when it comes to everyday tasks. Tying your shoes, brewing coffee, or using your TV remote, these might seem simple, but they're actually complex sequences your brain has mastered over decades. This type of memory is called procedural memory, and it's your third crucial defense against cognitive decline. Here's what makes this fascinating. Procedural memory lives in a completely different part of your brain than names or recent events. It's stored deep in areas like the basal ganglia and cerebellum. Think of it as your brain's autopilot system. Most people can tie their shoes without even thinking about it, right? That's procedural memory at work. But here's the concerning part. When dementia starts creeping in, these automatic tasks become puzzling challenges. A person might stare at a microwave like it's alien technology, or struggle to figure out which buttons turn on their favorite TV show. These aren't just senior moments. They're warning signals that something deeper is happening in the brain. Research shows that people who maintain their ability to perform daily routines have significantly stronger neural pathways. Your brain creates these pathways through repetition, like well-worn trails in a forest. The more you use them, the stronger they stay. Let them sit unused, and they start to fade. Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Scientists have discovered that keeping up with daily habits can reduce dementia risk by up to 30%. That's huge. We're talking about simple things like cooking a familiar recipe, organizing your medicine, or even remembering how to work your smartphone. The step-by-step nature of these tasks is what makes them so protective. When you follow a recipe, your brain has to sequence multiple actions in the right order. Crack the eggs, then mix them, then add to the pan. Miss a step or get confused about the sequence. That's when neurologists start paying attention. Then there's the social aspect nobody talks about. Forgetting how to use basic technology doesn't just affect your brain, it cuts you off from family and friends. Can't figure out your phone? You miss calls from grandchildren. Struggle with email? You lose touch with old friends. This isolation actually speeds up cognitive decline, creating a vicious cycle. But the good news keeps getting better. Your procedural memory is remarkably trainable even after 75. Learning new routines, whether it's a different way to organize your morning pills or mastering a new kitchen gadget, creates fresh neural pathways. It's like adding new trails to that forest in your brain. The weird part is how resilient this type of memory can be. Some people with mild dementia still remember how to play piano pieces they learned 60 years ago, even when they can't remember what they had for breakfast. Music and motor skills seem to have special protection in the brain. Understanding why these three types of memory, names, recent events, and daily tasks, work together to shield your brain reveals something remarkable about how you can actively protect your cognitive future. Your brain works like any muscle, use it or lose it. When you actively remember names, recent events, and daily tasks, you're essentially giving your brain a workout. Each time you recall where you put your keys or remember your neighbor's new grandchild's name, you're strengthening neural pathways that fight off cognitive decline. The fascinating part, your brain doesn't just maintain these pathways, it actually builds new ones. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, and it keeps working even in your 80s and 90s. Well, assuming you keep challenging it. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think brain health is all about crossword puzzles and Sudoku. Those help, sure, but the real magic happens when you combine mental activity with physical movement. A study of 1,600 people over 75 found that those who walked regularly while also engaging in social activities had 38% lower dementia risk than couch potatoes who avoided conversations. Your diet plays a surprisingly powerful role too. The Mediterranean diet, rich in olive oil, fish, nuts, and vegetables, doesn't just protect your heart. It shields your memory centers from inflammation that can trigger dementia. People following this eating pattern show 13% better memory performance than those eating typical Western diets heavy in processed foods. Then there's the learning factor that catches everyone off guard. Adults who pick up new skills after 75, whether it's using a smartphone, learning card games, or even mastering a different route to the grocery store, show measurably stronger brain scans. The brain literally grows new connections when forced to adapt to fresh challenges. Sleep enters the equation in ways most people never consider. During deep sleep, your brain washes away toxic proteins that accumulate during waking hours. These proteins, if left to build up, directly contribute to memory loss. Quality sleep isn't just rest, it's brain maintenance. Social connections work as cognitive insurance policies. People with strong friendships and family ties have 26% lower dementia rates. Why? Conversations force your brain to process language, recall shared memories, and interpret social cues simultaneously. It's like running multiple brain programs at once. The contrarian truth most doctors won't tell you: up to 40% of dementia cases stem from preventable lifestyle factors: high blood pressure, diabetes, smoking, depression, hearing loss. These aren't just health problems, they're memory thieves. Address them early, and you're essentially building a fortress around your cognitive abilities. Physical exercise deserves special mention because it does something remarkable. It grows new brain cells. Yes, even at 75 and beyond. Moderate walking, just 150 minutes weekly, increases production of BDNF, a protein that acts like fertilizer for neurons. The beautiful irony is that protecting your memory doesn't require dramatic life changes. Keep greeting people by name. Stay curious about daily happenings around you. Maintain your routines while occasionally mixing things up. Your brain at 75 isn't a declining machine, it's an adaptable wonder waiting for the right care. Give it movement, good food, social connection, and mental challenges, and it'll reward you with the memories that make life meaningful.